What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video by yours truly. So about last night, I think around like 12 a.m., which is usually when CN Gacha companies drop their news, Black Beacon put out an official apology that didn't just come from the development team, but actually two different publishers, the global and CN publishers, as well as the developer combined, all put their endorsement into this apology letter, which I think is quite fascinating and reveals a bit of news if we take it at face value. And it honestly makes a lot of sense when you look at this stuff. So I'm willing to buy what they put out. There's no reason not to. If you go and do your due diligence, these companies are in fact behind the developer. So it makes sense. Anyways, my goal here is to just break down what they said, explain it in layman's terms, and then share my thoughts on this whole situation, taking into consideration the community's sentiments, the people who are coming back to the game, the people who are not giving it a second chance, people who are on the fence. I just want to share my thoughts in a very rational manner, as I always strive to do, so that you guys can kind of see from an adult perspective how this all looks. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, dear seers, we want to begin, all right, that's important, with a sincere acknowledgement that your voices have been heard and we take your feedback seriously. All right, that's a good start. It really is. Off the rip, let me let you know, we heard you and we acknowledge it. Following the launch of Black Beacon in China on April 28th. Oh, so that was the date. So it came out April 10th in global. It came out in China over 2 weeks ago. Okay, damn. Or over 2 weeks later. Interesting. We received strong feedback from our global community regarding differences in compensation between regions. That's such a funny ass PR way to put it, bro. Strong feedback. All I think about is those middle fingers in the announcement section of their Discord on every post that they upload, bro. We understand your frustration, and we deeply regret that the confusion and concern this has caused. Black Beacon is developed by Ming Zhao Studio. Don't know if I pronounced that correctly. So that's the developer, Ming Zhao Studio, and published separately. Very important information right here. Across regions by Gloho for the global service. Let's stop right here. If this is to be taken as factual, then these would be the guys who have fucked you. It would be Gloho. And Tian City for China. Tian City would be the Chinese publisher that actually gave China the 5-star selector, the 20 limited pulls, so on and so forth. Due to this structure, each region addressed its launch independently. Now, I find this funny because they 100% are snitching on the global publisher team. While the circumstances and responses may have differed, we recognize that the significant rewards issued during the China server launch caused many global players to feel a sense of relative deprivation and disappointment. That was never our intention, and we take these concerns seriously. This is actually really good because they're just outright owning it. Now, again, I do think they were put in a predicament where they don't have the choice. They can't strong arm because, like I told you, they ain't got the juice like that. They just simply don't. You know what I mean? Hoyoverse can strong arm because they have already grabbed their community comfortably by the balls and convinced them that they're beating their meats and giving them blowjobs when they're not. Yeah, hell of an analogy there, but I think you get what I mean. We want to be clear. This is not an attempt to shift responsibility. I'm gonna be honest. The minute you laid out the information that Gloho is the global service and Tian City is the China publisher, you did that. You shifted the responsibility because it all points in one direction at this point. If global publisher Gloho is in charge of dishing out the rewards, handling the communication, and being that middleman for feedback between the consumer and developer, then they are 1 billion% responsible for all of this shit because we are taking this as disparity in social classes, China and the rest of the goddamn world. When in reality, it's an incompetent Gloho publisher. In my eyes, this is absolutely a shift in responsibility. If I were them, I'd shift the responsibility too. Especially if Gloho agreed to it. I would shift the shit out of that responsibility to make sure that people don't think that the developer as well as the Chinese publisher are looking at us like second-class citizens, basically, for their game. It is a moment for us to learn and do better. To be honest, though, guys, this is probably the best fucking excuse they could have possibly have come up with to completely push and wash aside the thought of us being treated like second-class citizens. I can't think of a better excuse here. I really can't. Do I buy it? I don't really care. I'm really more so concerned with the action and result of what's happening right now before us. Having said that, all three parties, Mingzhou, Gloho, and Tian City, have discussed this matter thoroughly and reached a shared agreement on the following points. Global compensation alignment. I don't have to read all of this. All I'm going to tell you is they're saying all of us came together and said, yes, this needs to happen. And what they ended up doing is they said, we're going to give Global the exact same thing that we gave China. Then they laid this shit out down here to show you the compensation differences in a fine print with factual data saying this was the difference between the China and Global. Global's now going to get that. This was the difference between the remaining things, the 5-star permanent character selection. We're going to give them exactly everything that China got, and maybe even more, because what I'm looking at is Global Server got more more Aurelium, it got more fruits, but that's because I think it was out for 2 weeks and 4 days. So any discrepancy you see between Global and CN isn't actually like Global getting taken care of more. It's really more so, I would say, Global being out longer. But this 100% was one of the most important things to consider. And now they're making it an equivalent exchange between both sides of the hemisphere. They added more on top of this. By the way, it is available. By the time that you see this video, it is available for you to log into Black Beacon to get this stuff right now. Not telling you need to, just laying that information out. On top of that, they said gratitude reward. As a gesture of sincere appreciation for your continued patience and support, all players across regions will receive additional rewards in addition to compensation above. This is going to be lost time key times 5 and time seeking key times 5. That's 5 standards, 5 limited pulls. So they gave 5 of both of them on top of a 5-star selector and 20 limited banner pulls. So in total, you got 25 limited banner pulls. Immediate too, like no questions asked. That's actually substantial, guys. I'm gonna be honest, especially with a game with a monetization model as free to play friendly as theirs. Being objective here. Now, you have until May 6th, which is today, till May 30th to claim those rewards. That's a lot of time. It's not like 2 days or 3 days like they did apparently with the very first time they fucked up. They gave out 30 standard pulls. They said it expired in 2 days later. Yeah, I think they learned their lesson on that one too, because you got plenty of time there. Let's continue on. Cross-regional coordination, stronger publishing collaboration. All right. So all three parties have agreed to shared communication protocol across publishing partners to prevent a similar misalignment in the future. To prevent the fuck up again, they're now all in synchronization. Well, be honest, I feel like that should have, I mean, I'm not going to say the obvious. We all know that should have been the get-go, but who knows, boys? Companies are a conglomerate of a plethora of suits. That's the best way to put it. Then you have the developer who's just like in the lab cooking the whole time, right? Maybe they're amateurs, maybe they're not. I'm not sure. Faster response and communication. We recognize that our initial response took too long. To address this, we are establishing a dedicated team focused on improving the speed and clarity of official updates moving forward. Looking forward, we appreciate your continued support. We know the situation has shaken trust, and we don't take that lightly. Trust is not restored through words alone, but through consistent action. It's a hell of apology. Good PR guy. We're committed to transparency, cross-region fairness, and creating a more unified experience for seers around the world. Thank you for holding us accountable. I'm gonna be honest, boy. This is a W fucking apology. It is. This is a W apology. Okay, so now I want to share my honest thoughts on the whole situation. Firstly, the publisher for Global, Gloho, completely shit the bed in a way that is kind of like irreparable for a lot of people. They aren't just looking at Gloho, right? Now, in a rational sense, you can look at business and go, that's their fault. But the consumer, the public, the masses, they're just going to say Black Beacon bad and move on. But there's also a lot of people in this space that go, hey, man, you know what? That was a good apology. I believe in second chances, and they're going to continue playing your game. Now, what I personally think is that you guys just let the mask slip a bit. And I'm a firm believer that all gacha companies, if you remove the mask, you all look the same. I think you guys, some of you do a better job with hiding it. Some of you are a bit more tactful, a bit more cunning with convincing the public that you're different. You're better than the other ones. I'm not like these other gacha companies. We're different. Nah, I think you're all the same. But What I do believe in is supporting the hungry developers. And I do think Black Beacon is a hungry developer. And I want to share my philosophy with my community as well as anybody else who watches this video, because I think it's a very important philosophy that you could live by while you consume gacha content from these devs. Here's the thing, guys. The difference between the developers of all these different gacha games and how they're going to treat their community is based off of the hunger meter. How hungry are they? Are they starving? That's back here. Do they got some food on the table? Starting to experience a bit of contentment, a bit of complacency? Or do they got a fucking buffet? Is food falling off of the table to the point where they're able to sandbag, milk the cow, Hoyoverse level? That's the difference between what you're gonna get in terms of a good consumer experience, feeling like the devs are being attentive or the team's being attentive, or if you're just being ignored and they're just starting to sandbag because they know they got you by the balls. Hoyoverse community, kudos getting there too. In fact, they might already be there. Once you understand that philosophy, then you don't really look at these things emotionally. You really just look at them from a business standpoint, and you look at them from what are they going to offer standpoint. I don't care about like if it was true that they did what they did. I care about action and result. And I know for a fact that when a gacha company is hungry, you get the best fucking content. And when a gacha company is full, you get the worst goddamn content. You get the lackluster content. I've seen it happen time and time again. None of these companies are exceptions. I just looked at the Wuthering Waves 2.3 total anniversary rewards for 2.3. And you get 100, I'm looking at it right here in front of me. You get 100 Radiant Tides shared amongst the entire patch. The entire patch. That means half of those aren't even allocated towards Zani. You have to get them on the next half. So if you want to go for Zani as a complete free-to-play player, you get damn near a quarter of the resources for the anniversary to get that Zani in this one patch. I mean, woo! Kudo Games best though, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's one of those situations where people just think all of a sudden that Black Beacon's the Antichrist and that it's so much worse than all these other gacha companies. Guys, they're all the fucking same, man. The difference is, how hungry are they? Are they on the ladder? He's starting to climb now. They're starting to get up there and get them nutrients going. They're eating at the steakhouse now in terms of how much money they're making. Oh, now we can ease up a bit. Now we're going to start giving a filler patch every other patch. Boys, you do what you want to do. Okay, I'm not here to convince you to reinstall Black Beacon. I just want you to understand the ideology of a fucking adult. The hungry devs are the best ones to invest in until they're not hungry anymore. Then you got to start fucking bringing them back to ground zero. You know what I'm saying? You got to put the money back in the pocket, bro. Put the fries in the back. But the hungry devs are the ones that are going to deliver you a lot more bang for your buck. And to not support a company because they fucked up, because they had a mask off moment, when in reality, all the gacha companies wear the same fucking mask. They really do. They're just better at hiding it. It's kind of idiotic to me. I do believe that sincerely. And so Tribe 9, Wizardry Variant, Limbus Company, Black Beacon, all of these devs are fucking hungry. All of them. And you support them until you see them reach that middle market. Then you go, you know what? Put my money back in my pocket, because you're going to start to see it. You're going to start to see the mask slip. You're going to be like, oh, make some money now, boys. All right, we can ease up. We can ease up on some of this fucking content now. All right, hey, we got them. We got them. We got them by the balls, but they think we're stroking it. They think we're choking on it. We're not. But you know, let them think that. There's a movie called In Time, and this is how I think everyone should treat gacha companies. It's in a future where time is money and the wealthy can live forever. I need you guys to understand that, because in this movie, which I don't think it's the greatest movie ever, I think the concept is very intriguing and fascinating because it's actually quite parallel to real life. The concept basically is, you know how you live paycheck to paycheck in real life, or maybe you don't. Maybe you live pretty well for yourself. Maybe you're quite financially stable and well off. Regardless, swap money with literal time, and you have a timer on your wrists. And if that timer reaches zero, you die. Your life is attached to time, literally, in this world building. And so imagine you're working a job, and that job pays you 2 weeks of time per 2 weeks, which means that job gives you just enough for you to make it, to survive, to literally live, to see another 2 weeks. That was the philosophy of end time. And I thought that was fascinating because if you think about that, that means if somebody is a billionaire in this world, that means they have billions of hours to waste, which means they're probably, not everyone, but they're probably starting to sandbag, get insanely complacent, and just fucking milk the cow of their life. They're not doing anything. They're just a lazy sack of shit at that point. There's no real fulfillment there. I want to be very clear here. I don't think all businesses should be treated this way. I think most businesses should be respected by their consumers and they should be showered with praise. Clear Obscure would be a perfect example of them. Hell, the firefighter department, school teachers, you name it. I think all these people deserve the amount of money you give to fucking gacha games. But let me be clear here. I think gacha companies need to be treated just like this concept. I think gacha companies need to be given just enough to survive the next fucking update, because that is how they are trying to treat you. Whether you realize it or not, whether you're sharp enough and keen enough to see it, that's what a gacha company wants to do to their consumer. But in the beginning, see, there's nuances to this. In the beginning, they have to first convince you that they can be trusted, that they are going to take your money and deliver you the best product that they could possibly deliver. And so in the beginning, they start off hungry as hell, feeding you, delivering it, listening to all that. Zenless Zone Zero is a perfect example of keeping them hungry. Hoyo, other games, Genshin Impact and Hawkeye Star Rail, are perfect examples of feeding them too much. Kudo is a perfect example of being right there in the middle and going towards getting fed too much. You start to understand this concept, boys, you start to realize you don't get emotionally attached to things like, oh, wow, these guys told me they don't give a fuck about me. And you start to go, let's uninstall. They're going to either remedy this situation because they're gonna fucking, their business is gonna crash, or they're gonna ignore it because they can't afford to, or because they just don't give a fuck. I guess they got money like that where they can make a business die. Regardless though, I think you guys need to stop supporting the games that are eating even moderately well to very well with your money and start supporting the ones that are starving, because that's how it should be. That would improve the overall health of the space instead of making it fucking worse. Those are all my thoughts. Do what you want to do. I'm not telling you to reinstall Black Beacon. It's really more so of the mentality here, guys, okay? If you're not going to play it again, I feel you. I'm not playing it again. You know why? Because I ain't got no time for another gacha game. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking trying to play another gacha game. I just ain't got the time. And admittedly, there's also just better games out there to play. But Godspeed to Black Beacon. I hope you guys have enough support to at least keep you afloat and deliver banger content and, you know, put some food in the pockets of the teams behind you. But yeah, that's my entire thought process on it. Raw as it always is. Peace, love, and happiness, and some good laughs. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.